Here I have a smart TV, a Samsung version here. It's a BN64 PS, and it has audio, but there is no screen. It's just black. So the very first thing that you want to do is just open up the back of your TV and have a look at it. On the left is your main board, then you have your TCOM board in the middle, and to the right is your power supply board. We want to look at the power supply board first. You can identify this little connection here that goes to the backlights of your LEDs. I'm using an LED tester right here, and you can see it should have 82 volts. There's two strips. There's a white and black one, and there's a blue and black one too. So just using the LED tester, you can test it. One side was working, the other side was not. So I'm going to have to find out what is the issue. I'm going to have to take off the screen to get at the backlights. Disconnect all the connectors that go to your TCOM board, and there's also a metal strip at the bottom that you need to remove so that we can remove the screen. There's also some tape that is on the little else PCB board, and then going around, flipping your TV over, going around, there are some screws. After you remove those screws, we can remove the metal bezel that holds the TV screen onto your TV. After that is done, you can carefully fold the PCB that connects to your screen and tape it onto the LCD screen so that when we remove it, everything's all intact. Using a playing card, you can go around. There's a little bit of glue that holds the LCD onto the TV, so just using that playing card going around. After that, using some suction cups, we can remove the screen. Underneath the screen, there's these little plastic bezels that you also need to remove. You can just unclip them, and then they just pull straight up. Just going and removing all those. After we remove those plastic bezels, there is some a little bit of screens, but what I do is tape them together and just remove that. And then there's also this sheet of plastic that we need to remove, and just putting that carefully around. Underneath there's a white sheet of paper that we can take that off. Now we have access to the left, and there's a left strip of LEDs, and to the right we have a strip of LEDs here. So I'm using my LED tester, testing the right hand side, and you can see the right hand side is working, and that's why I was getting 82 volts when I was testing before. But on the left hand side, when I tested it, that's the blue and black wire. I wasn't getting any voltage there, meaning that the lights don't turn on, and that is the problem here. So I'm removing the LED strip on the left hand side, and you can see these are a little bit different. The LEDs are on they are vertical. Usually the more newer ones, they put the LEDs on the metal part and they shine up, but this is a little bit older TV. And going around and testing them, they're all 3 volts, and I'm just testing one by one, and I found that there are a couple that are broken. So what I do is I mark them as black, that the ones that are broken, and then I fold them over and I just break them off, and I will be replacing them. I don't have these kind of long type ones, but I do have the modern LEDs that are more like a square shape. Put on some solder paste, putting on the new replacement LED, and we were going to be soldering it on vertically. And then I'm just going to tack that on using some solder and my soldering iron. These vertical LEDs are actually a little bit easier to replace than the newer TVs, because they do not have a light filter on the front of them. So just using some tweezers so that you don't burn your fingers, tacking on one side and then the other. There's a short side of the LED is negative, and the longer side is the short side is positive and the long side is negative. And you can test them out there, and you can see that they're all working after replacing them. This one had quite a few lights that were broken. It was about 20 or so, but you can get the replacement LEDs online, and I put a link in the description where you can buy them. Putting them on, just verifying that everything is working, and then before putting the screen back on, I just plugged it in. You can see it initially turns on, and that's a test to see if anything is broken, and then later it goes on into the full mode, and that's all the lights are on nice and bright. So I will be putting everything back in the same way that we took it off, and just testing everything out. Make sure to put the filter papers back on, and then putting the screen back on. And after putting everything back together in the same way that we took it off, we can test it to see if it's working. You can see it flashes on the smart TV, this Samsung version here, and you can see it's looking for HDMI, and I put on a little DVD, and you can see the DVD playing right there. So that was the issue, was the backlight. This is actually very common. The TV companies don't want you to know this, but they put them all those lights in series, so if one breaks down, the whole TV will not work. So to fix this problem, always turn down your backlight. Do not put them at 100%. This TV was at 100%. So I put the TV backlight to about 10 or 50% brightness, and this will make your TV last a lot longer. And I also just turned down the contrast a bit too. That should help out a lot. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Please like the video and subscribe.